Hey guys, I'm back this week taking on Disney again. Before we visit Aladdin, please subscribe if you haven't already so I can keep growing my small business. And click the notification bell so you never miss any of my weekly uploads. Okay, so the book is Aladdin and the Magic Lamp, and you know what the movies are. As most of you know, they're another one of Disney's odd man out learning to believe in himself and then getting the girl. First one is animated, second one is live action, and it's like once you've seen one Disney classic story adaptation, you've seen all of them because they never seem to deviate from this theme. What this very old story, translated in this book in 1978, has in common with both the animated from 1992 and the live action from 2019 Disney movies is that Aladdin meets a princess and then finds a magic lamp at the behest of an evil guy, meets the genie and uses his wishes to self-elevate, and then Aladdin and the bad guy have one final fight. He wins, and that's all. In this story, Aladdin's story begins when he was 10. He was never orphaned, and he was never homeless. And he never had to struggle in spite of his very small origins. He also lived in China, not the Middle East. His parents were in the clothing business. His mother spun the wool and the cotton and the silk, and his father did the tailoring. They got by, and Aladdin learned nothing from it. He stayed a lazy, undisciplined brat until his father died from exhaustion, and when his mother was not far behind, Aladdin was approached by a man claiming to be his long-lost uncle who's been traveling the Middle East all this time. He gains their trust, gives Aladdin a magic ring, and takes Aladdin on a road trip with him to find the magic lamp that originally came with the ring. He tells Aladdin, go in and get the lamp, and touch nothing else. In that cave, he sees what look like fruit-bearing trees, and he picks some and realizes that they are priceless gemstones, and he fills his pockets with them and makes himself too heavy to hoist out of the cave just as it collapses. So he's trapped inside. And now that Aladdin has the ring and matching lamp set, he knows what to do with them. He rubs the ring, and the genie inside, who, by the way, isn't blue, cheerful, funny, and capable of breaking into song and dance. He's scary like a shadow person. And he has no personality or dialogue beyond I hear and obey. He gets him out of the cave, and there are also, by the way, no magic carpets, no talking animals, and he gets way more than 3 wishes. When Aladdin gets back home, he keeps his wishes pretty simple. He wishes for food for him and his mother, and when those wishes are granted, the most elaborate and decadent meals are presented to them on the most ornate serving trays made of the purest precious metals. Aladdin also wishes for good-looking clothes, so he can go and hawk these serving trays in the marketplace looking like a respectable businessman. And by this time, he's grown up a little bit. He's 15, and he's learning from all the businessmen in the marketplace, getting better prices every day for those serving trays, so his mother doesn't have to work so hard. Then comes the day he sees the princess as she's touring from the Middle East. And her name isn't Jasmine, it's Bedral Badur, and he sees her not while she's sneaking around the marketplace in disguise. No, he's peeping on her in the bathhouse. Furthermore, she's already engaged to the son of the Sultan's right-hand man, whose name is not Jafar. He doesn't even have a name in the story. In fact, the black magic fake uncle from before and this Hand of the Sultan are both roles given to Jafar in the movies. Even though in the animation he's a power-mad black magic man, and in the live action he's a power-mad politician. Anyway, Aladdin and his mommy go ask the Sultan to marry the princess to Aladdin instead of the guy she's with now. But he's too late. They're already married. So Aladdin wishes for the genie to fly them both in their marriage bed to his bedroom, lock the husband in a cold dungeon in his basement, while he takes his place in the marriage bed with a sword between them. He does this enough times to scare the guy into leaving the marriage. But the Sultan still wants Aladdin to prove that he's in the princess's league. So he gives him all those material treasures, and he gives him all those gemstones he found in the cave. It was good, but not great. So Aladdin turned to the genie again, and he wished for grander and more elaborate material treasures to impress the Sultan with, even having an extraordinary palace built for him right next door to his overnight. The right-hand guy, they're called a vizier in, Muslim monarchies. Anyway, this hand of the king, or hand of the Sultan, is getting suspicious, reasonably. First, this guy has his mommy do the courting for him, showing up in cheap clothing. Now he has a huge palace all decked out with gemstones, staffed with the most beautiful slave girls, got singers, crafters. He's riding the most elaborate steed he's ever seen. And every time he goes out, he makes it rain gold coins. Everything except this one window that was left unfinished. So the Sultan offers to have his building and decorating team finish it. And try as they might, none of their skill and materials were enough to match the rest of the windows made with just a wish. Until word of this makes its way to the Middle East, where the black magic fake uncle has been hanging out, still mad over having lost his lamp. So he makes a similar one, makes his way back to China to Aladdin's palace, and tricks the princess into trading his shiny new lamp for Aladdin's rusty old one that she does not know has a genie inside. And then he wishes for Aladdin's palace and everyone and everything in it, including the princess, transported back to his home in the Middle East. Now Aladdin is in deep. The Sultan is threatening execution if anything happens to the princess, who, by the way, has no personality in the book. In the cartoon, she's, such a stereotype. In the live action, she's likable. She's got a brain and she's got a sense of humor, and she's very much ahead of her time. But back to the story. Aladdin still has the ring. He makes a wish for the genie in the ring to get him to his palace wherever it is. And he gets there, and he and the princess come up with a plan to poison the magician, which they do. And then they whisk the palace and everyone back in it, back to China. But it's not over yet. The magician had a brother who is kind of a third persona rolled into the Jafar role in the movies, who came up with a revenge plan pretty quickly. He killed and assumed the identity of a faith healer and tried to trick them into letting him place a curse on them by getting him the egg of a rare bird of prey called a roc. Of course, Aladdin summoned the lamp genie for this, who, for the first time, shows some personality. He berates Aladdin right then and there, tells him what's really up, and Aladdin kills the brother. Now, with all the riches of the world and no more enemies, it's happily ever after for everyone. While the animated movie is just another down-on-his-luck guy learning how to believe in himself, with some bits and pieces of the original story woven in here and there, along with some catchy song and dance, the live-action one goes a few steps further. It ends with some self-acceptance on Aladdin's part, and Princess Jasmine is very much a woman ahead of her time. She gets herself promoted to Sultan before she gets married, and the genie gains his freedom, along with his own happily ever after with the princess's recently retired handmaid. And that is everything there is to know about Aladdin and the Magic Lamp. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment and smash the like button, and join me back next week for Girl Interrupted.